Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I'll be guiding you on this journey today. I hope that you're all doing well. This is a reading for Gemini. Wherever Gemini is in your chart, I hope, again, did I say that you're all doing well? I know Uranus was in Gemini for like a little bit, and then I believe it's back in Taurus now. For a little bit, but it'll be back in Gemini in no time. But who knows? Who knows? Let's get some cards for you. I was literally about to start work, and then I was like, let me go hang out with my friends. Let me go do this first for Gemini. We have the Eight of Cups. We're not going to take those. That was too many cards anyway. Interesting. The Hermit, sideways. And then the Hierophant. The Hierophant has come out like a good amount of times in these readings. Let me make sure everything is oh, this light is kind of, let's see. That's better-ish. I bought this mat. Like, I hate the color of this table. I don't know. And it's like shiny, and I hate that too. So I bought these mats. Anyway, is that straight-ish? Like, I can't tell. Hopefully. Okay. So the Eight of Cups, the Hermit, the Hierophant. And like I said, like the Hierophant has come out so many times. There's always one. There's always one card that just makes multiple appearances. So for whatever reason, the Hierophant is coming out this time. But it's interesting. Like, I'm just kind of sitting here staring at the Eight of Cups, and it feels like navigating distractions or obstacles even, because there's this octopus here, and there's, I mean, this is trash, like on a beach, basically, right? Like these cups. And so it's kind of like making its way through that. Right? So that's why I'm getting this feeling of, or at least that's how it looks to me, I guess, right? Like, that's a feeling that I'm getting from it, is like, again, either having to navigate distractions or navigate obstacles. Maybe you were also doing a big clean out. Like maybe you're part of that collective that is doing a big purge, because I say collective when literally, I mean, there's probably only like 3 people in my life that have said that they're doing big purges, I guess, like just going through the nooks and crannies of their homes and getting rid of stuff that they no longer need, they no longer want, they no longer use. Also, big proponent of the belief that energy like serves a purpose, right? Like you purchase something, you acquire something, you consume something, right? And it has an energy to it for you, right? Let's, whatever, just clothes, tools, plants even, because I'm sitting here like looking at the plants that I have like around the desk. And when those things served a purpose for you, when you purchased them, when you were gifted them, when you got them, whatever. And then it's like, when the energy is used up, then that's kind of when we start stuffing stuff, in the back of the closet or whatever, because it's like, well, maybe I would use it again, or maybe, the purpose that I bought it for will come back and I'll need it again, or, and then we just kind of hang on to it. And then, if you do that with a bunch of stuff, then you just have a bunch of stuff. So me personally, I've been going through also, like I speaking of mushrooms, like I did this mushroom journey, and literally I was just like, oh my God, like literally nothing in here is supporting me. Nothing in here is working. Like, so I got this hair up my ass, kind of, right? I mean, to clean, literally go through every single closet, every single everything. And oh my gosh, it felt and feels really good. I went through some other cabinets today. Literally all I have left, I think, is my kitchen and oh my gosh, my closet. But the thing is though, too, right? Like not only are you clearing out what is no longer serving a purpose for you, right? Like the energy has been used. So it's just kind of like dead weight, like, hanging around. When it could be, you could donate it, you could put it on, like a Facebook, you could sell it on Facebook Marketplace, you could see if you have like a buy nothing group in your immediate area and list it on there. Like one person's trash is another person's treasure, right? Like the energy would be available for somebody else then, or of course too, just throwing it away. Like don't donate your trash to a thrift store type of thing, literally just throw it out. But that's a point that I was trying to get to. Sorry. But not only are you, of course, like clearing out your space, but it's like it's just kind of like mixing up the energy in your own place. It's releasing energy in your own place, and it's making room for the things that are for you, whatever it is. Like I'm not saying that you're just clearing out space to make room to consume or to buy more stuff. Like, no, I think we all need to stop buying stuff. Me personally, because capitalism. But just freeing up space so other things can come in, and relating this back to the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is literally about moving on. Cups have to do with our emotions, how we feel about things, how we feel about ourselves, our lives, the people in our lives. What are we doing, with our lives? It's love, and our relationship to it. How do we give it? How do we receive it? More importantly, because I think a lot of us are probably better at giving support than we are at receiving support or asking for it in the first place, and not only that, well, okay, before I go there, that's also the other thing with the Eight of Cups for me is that the whole point of the Eight of Cups is recognizing that there is nothing in these cups that will serve you. Either because the energy in the cup, or, let's just say the liquid, whatever, has been consumed, it's been used, it's been, it's served its purpose, and now those cups are empty. Or, like you tried what was in each of those cups and was just like, meh, no, So it is about almost like taking your emotional investment and allowing it to be like open to something else. And not only are you leaving, quote unquote, leaving something behind, you're heading towards what is going to make you happy. Because obviously after the Eight of Cups comes the Nine of Cups. And I know we don't have that on the table, but it's making that emotional decision to head towards your wish fulfillment, your desires, you're feeling more purposeful, more fulfilled. It's recognizing that whatever is in these Eight Cups isn't doing that for you. So you're going to allow yourself to move on to something that will, or that has the potential to, or, again, just to try. And maybe you have been really spending a lot of time trying to figure out even what the hell that is, because that's the hardest part, right? It's like, what is my dreams coming true? What's the dream, right? Like, what do I even want? Like, how would I feel fulfilled? What would give me purpose? Like, what can I invest my emotions into? And by that, of course, I mean, right, like having a project or a thing, or, just something that you're happy doing, that you look forward to doing, that fills your cup also, because all these cups here are empty, or they're full of sand, right? Because they've been, they're trash, like that washed up here on shore. So and then with this Hermit card, so when a card comes out sideways like this, when it's pointing in this direction, I see this as working its way to upright, like just in a counter or a clockwise motion. If it were to come out this way, I would see that as working its way into reverse, but it came out this way. So it's working its way upright, which means at some point it was in the reverse. Also, I don't shuffle reversals into my decks. Like, I think it's like an OCD thing. Like, I cannot handle the cards being in two different directions. I hate that. But if the card comes out in reverse like this, we accept that here. But I just don't shuffle reversals into the deck. The Hermit is Virgo. Virgo season, okay, so we're in Libra season. So Virgo was like the middle of August to the middle of September. So maybe that was like a significant time period for you. In this card, there's a bear hibernating. So again, like with this still kind of being in the reverse, working its way to the upright, maybe in that period of time or just in the recent past, you've just kind of felt like it was almost like you were trying to hibernate, but just couldn't quite get there. And maybe that was because, things kept popping up, or even, navigating obstacles, navigating, because it's interesting, these two energies are almost kind of the opposite. Like this is moving forward. This octopus is literally in motion. And then this hermit is hibernating, doing nothing. It was in the reverse though. So again, like that would be the opposite, right? Like, so you weren't doing nothing. And maybe you were, like you recognize your need for hibernation. Like maybe you know in your cells, in your body, in your soul, in your intuition that you do need to either set aside time for yourself or hunker down in some capacity. But just again, because of circumstances, responsibilities, adulting, life, whatever, even just things popping up, you know, maybe you just haven't had the chance, right? You just haven't had the opportunity. Or over here too, with the Eight of Cups, like having to put in the effort, to get things, to move beyond this Eight of Cups. And too, like I feel like it takes conscious awareness to like emotionally detach yourself from something, like conscious awareness to be like, you know what, this is actually not serving me anymore. And how do you even feel about that, right? Like if it's a habit that you had, if it was, again, just something that you maybe really enjoyed for a time, or it got you from point A to point B. And then all of a sudden, like your feelings change and you're like, wait a second, now what? Right? Like I wasn't quite expecting to move on from this thing, but now my feelings are that it is time to move on from these things, whatever it is. So again, right? I mean, it takes conscious awareness to be like, oh, that's what's happening. And also what's next, right? Like what do I want to fill that space with, or what habit do I want to form next? The Hermit is also about healing. It's introspection, going within. It does talk about isolation and solitude. And it's more so like to be in your own energy so that you can hear the quiet part, like if you're getting a lot of like stimulation or opinions or input from outside sources about what you're doing, what you should be doing, what blah blah blah, blah, what other people are doing in their lives, it's like a lot of stimulus. And it's also too with the Hermit card, for me, I see the Hermit card also as being like a unique journey, right? Like each one of us has a unique journey through our lives, right? Like what's going to work for you may not work for me, and vice versa. But it's also, it's discovering what that unique way of being, way of living, like your day-to-day routines. Maybe there's like something going on in your 6th house right now. Like, well, let's see. If you're a Gemini rising, that would be Scorpio. Well, Mars. Mars is in Scorpio right now. So maybe you've just been recognizing a shakeup in your daily routines, in your work, or even just feeling pressure because Mars is gonna push. Also, like I heard it explained about, let's see, because Scorpio is fixed water, And I was watching somebody's tarot video. I can't remember who it was, but they were saying about Scorpio being fixed water and how fixed water can become stagnant sometimes. Um, quote unquote, right? Like stagnant sometimes. And when Mars comes in, it kind of like agitates the water. And also, even how like stagnant water, if it's like, stagnant or standing for too long, it starts to grow stuff, right? Like, it becomes like a breeding ground for algae, or like I even was like thinking of mosquitoes, just kind of something that's like annoying. Like it's not necessarily toxic by any means, but it's just not like, even too, if you've ever propagated a plant, um and if you it grows algae eventually, right? If you don't change out the water, that's because the water is stagnant. And so again, it just becomes a place for other things to grow that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to grow if the water was circulating. Again, I mean, that's in part, I think, why like fish tanks have obviously, I mean, I think it like pumps oxygen into the water. Honestly, I'm not even sure, but it just like popped into my mind that part of the reason they have like those filters or whatever is to circulate the water so that there's less of a chance of algae growing. And not that that's toxic, right? It just doesn't serve a purpose. It's not appealing, it's not aesthetically pleasing unless you are purposely trying to grow algae. Um, so anyway, that's interesting. I'm like, how did I even get there? I mean, Virgo does rule over, the sixth house. Um, and to like being sure to not get stuck in the perfection of things, because it's like the thief of contentment or something, like trying to, again, just have like a perfect day every single day where you're productive and you're, um, getting stuff done, and you feel accomplished, and you have a to-do list, and whatever, right? Like, um, because again, going back to like the hermit, I mean, all these things are related to that anyway, but going back to the hermit, like the journey, your day-to-day life is unique to you. Not every day is going to look the same. And it's almost like allowing yourself permission to have different days every single day. And if you haven't been able to just, I want to say like relax. I mean, it's not like this bear is relaxing necessarily, right? I mean, that's um part of their like life cycle. But with this kind of working its way into upright, there will come a time where you will have the opportunity to be a true hermit. And also, to like when that time comes, allowing yourself to receive the rest. I think you want it. I think you recognize that you need that. So when the time does come, again, allowing yourself to receive it. And even over here, I was talking about our relationship to love. I feel like, again, allowing yourself to rest without judgment is a huge act of like self-love, even allowing yourself to like recharge without judgment. And then the Hierophant is Taurus, which is interesting. I mean, I was talking about how Uranus is back in Taurus now, I believe. I can't remember until when. Is it until April? Why did that just pop into my head? It might be until April. I think it's going back to 27 degrees Taurus, which is my Chiron placement. And I have a 28 degree Taurus sun. So honestly, I'm just kind of over Uranus in Taurus. That's my 11th house too. But that would be your 12th house of the subconscious, which is also very much the Hermit, because again, it's introspection. There's healing there. It's like, healing the deep stuff, and that's usually found in your subconscious. Hidden enemies, mental health, also like higher consciousness too, downloads, that type of thing. So maybe even too, like just recognizing where a lot of either your own self-sabotage is coming from. Like with Uranus is like kind of like sudden change, which sounds a lot like the Tower card to me. Sudden change, upheaval. Maybe it's like not as dramatic as like the Tower card, I don't know. But it's also like a time where, I mean, you could have just like aha moments out of the blue. Like again, the hidden enemies, which could be ourselves, like a lot of the times. But also like, where did that come from? Like where did you become your own worst enemy? Like where did you become your biggest bully? Where does your deep shame come from? If you have guilt over something, like where did that originate? If you don't know, this is a good time to dig into that, to release it, right? Like to understand it, to understand how it expresses itself in your life too. I love the mushrooms on here as well, and like the roots, because I know like there is something about, and I should Google this because this card keeps coming out. But there's something about how mushrooms communicate through their roots. Like it's like a whole collective thing that happens with mushrooms. The Hierophant is about tradition. There's a community aspect with it as well. It's usually depicted as the Pope, and then congregates or followers or whoever, whatever they're called, kneeling down in front of them. So, like, to me, though, the Hierophant is about passing along tradition, passing along information, right? Like even religion, it's an ancient practice, right? Astrology, tarot, like, the practice already exists, right? There are people who are educated, who are informed, who have the experience, the expertise in such a subject, even like starting a new job. There's usually some level of training involved, and that training is usually given by, a current person who, again, like has the experience that they're passing along to you. So it's like, teacher student or teacher grasshopper, type of thing. And which one are you? Because truly, I mean, you could be on either side of that. Um, this could even just be like part of a collective shift in general, like I keep kind of staring at these roots down here. Like you could be making connections. Honestly, you could even be severing connections, because that's like actually the first time I even felt that with this Hierophant, just because, you know, just the blunt um cut off here, which I'm sure is just like a design, whatever decision. But I mean, clearly this is not planted in the ground, right? So maybe you just kind of feel like you're not rooted anywhere. Keeping your feelers open. It could also even be like I was talking about with the 12th house and Uranus being there. It could truly be even over here when I was talking about purging. I mean, it could literally even just be your subconscious, your beliefs, purging truly what you no longer either believe in or you never really did. It's like, again, like I was saying, right? Like really diving into those beliefs that you have, really diving into um, unresolved shame or whatever stories may be coming up for you, and literally asking yourself, like, is that something I actually believe now? Like, is that something that, for one, I believe or not? For two, that I want to continue to entertain or continue to express in my life or even think of? Like, was it something that was taught to you, passed down to you, whether that was through your mom, your dad, your siblings, your extended family, just because you were born during a certain time and that's, like how things were during that time, Um, because truly, like you are in a position to be like, nope, nope, yes, maybe. I'll keep it for now. Nope, nope, yes, yes, no. Right? Like going through your own internal stuff, especially with the Hermit out here, especially with the Eight of Cups out here. This all is starting to feel like internal work. And no doubt no doubt there is already something that is even agitating your waters. Like I was even talking about with Mars being in Scorpio. There's some sort of agitation happening here. And that is to see the gunk or the algae or whatever, that's just, had the opportunity to grow, because maybe this isn't something that you have focused on or looked at in however long, if ever. And now there's an opportunity here to clear it out. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. And of course, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. If you haven't done so already, I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow. It helps these videos get seen by people. Also, you are notified when new videos drop. And if you could like the video, leave a comment, just press the share button, save it, whatever. Those are all free ways to support me and the channel as well. And I'll love you forever. So we have the 9 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. The 9 of Wands generally talks about like the wounded warrior. It's a lot of like life kicking your ass, Wands have to do with action, motivation, like the motivation behind the actions that we take, creativity, passion. How are you communicating those things? I also see Wands as being information by way of experience. So you have to try things in order to see if you like them or not, if it works or not, if you want to keep doing it, right? And by the time we get to the 9 of Wands, we've tried a lot of things. There's a lot of life experience that has happened there. And even with the 9 of Wands, the person on the card is usually resting. Like they're alive, they're beat up, but they're taking a break, catching their breath. It's not quite over yet because we need to get to the 10, right? 9s are individual completion, so it has to do with you making the decision to be complete or, reaching a point of completion. The 10 is more like communal, more, complete with everything else. Community, family, whatever is usually like involved with the 10s. I love that this imagery is of these lanterns, because it truly does feel like letting something go, which is kind of what we were literally talking about that in the 8 of Cups. Then we started talking about that with the Hermit and the Hierophant, about the deep subconscious, even conscious stuff that you are aware of, stories, patterns, behaviors that you are aware of, but maybe you're just like, I don't even know why this is a habit, why it is a pattern. Now is the time to figure that out, And it could be because of subconscious stuff. But like I said, like I love that the 9 of Wands is depicted by these lanterns here, because again, like it does feel like letting something go that has been a frustration for you, that has even maybe been a recycling, again, habit or pattern. Like just, it's like returning back to the same actions, but then there's frustration in there because it's like, why am I returning back to this thing, right? So there is a great opportunity here for release, for healing, for understanding yourself more fully. And again, even creating space or releasing energy so that a new behavior pattern, a new way of being can present itself. But it's also gonna take you recognizing the uniqueness of that habit, the pattern for yourself. And maybe that's kind of been the trouble, is that, like you've been following other people's templates that have worked for them, and maybe it worked for you for a time too, but long term it kind of starts to fall apart. And that's because you're not in your own flow. It's like one thing to be inspired by that, or to receive energy, or, well, okay, that's not at all what I was going to say, but like receive energy, okay. But receive information, try things, right? But how can you take that information, take all those things that you've tried, take all those templates, and mold them into something that works for you and only you? It doesn't have to work for anybody else. It's yours. It's unique to you. It's, unique to your flow, your routine, what you want your day-to-day life to look like and feel like. Again, right, even going back to this, what are my dreams? What first of all, what even is it? So that I can start, like, what is my ideal day? What is my ideal job? What is my ideal relationship? What, right? Like, whatever it is that you're focusing on. And I love, like I said, I love that this Nine of Wands is depicted by the lanterns, because it really does feel like letting it go. And also even like ceremoniously, like truly loving the thing for what it did for you, what it taught you, what it brought you, like the information that you got from it, but truly sending it off with love, because this to me feels like care. It's also like a physical manifestation of releasing too. And maybe you should do that. Maybe you should have some sort of like actual like release, like some sort of physical, maybe something to do with fire, which of course be careful, with that. Um it doesn't have to be like anything big. You don't have to like, make a lantern or anything like that. I mean, it could be literally a balloon even. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.